2. Hello, welcome. We're just going to wait a moment to let people come in and we'll get started. Welcome everyone. We're just waiting a moment to get started. Okay, let's get started. I'm sure more people will be joining us. Welcome everyone. Just a reminder that this session is being recorded, and later we'll be able to share the link of the recording so that you might be able to review whatever you may have missed or just want to review the session at your leisure. Next slide. Just a reminder, for you to communicate with us, we invite you to share your questions using the Q&A feature, which is located at the bottom of your screen. Please type your questions and we will do our best to answer all of them. We have a team of people who are ready to answer your questions. Next slide. Welcome everyone to the inaugural First Generation Family Table Talk series from UC San Diego. We are thrilled to have you here. It is a partnership between Student Affairs, Student Retention and Success, and the Office of Parent and Family Programs. Next slide. Hello, everyone. I am pleased to be here with my partner, Lindsay. My name is Karina Vio. I serve as the Senior Officer for the Office of Parent and Family Programs. We hold this topic very near and dear to our hearts to engage and bring our families who are parents or family members of first generation UC San Diego in community virtually to just talk about your experience and your students' experience, because I myself identify as first generation as well, which means that I am the first in my family to graduate from college. Lindsay?
Hi, everyone. So glad that you could join us for this inaugural event. I'm Lindsay Roma-Santa, and I serve as Director of Student Success Programs here at UC San Diego. I'm so grateful to have all of our family members and staff members and first-gen supporters joining us on this Zoom call. And for those of you that will be watching later, welcome and thank you so much for your time. Now I'd like to go ahead and introduce our amazing question and answers team. I'm going to ask them to unmute and introduce themselves. They will be supporting all of the questions and answers that you can type into the Q&A section all throughout the webinar. So Belinda, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. My name is Belinda Zamacona. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I'm the director of the Chancellor's Associate Scholars Program, and I will be helping out in the Q&A today. Buenas noches, mi nombre es Belinda Zamacona. Soy la directora de un programa que se llama CAS, por sus siglas en inglés. Es un programa de apoyo para estudiantes que también reciben una beca, y voy a estar ayudando a responder a las preguntas que vengan en español por el chat.
Hello, would you like to introduce yourself? Yes,
yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, I can go ahead. Hello, everyone. Very nice to have you all here with us. My name is Kimberly Rodriguez Jimenez. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I am the office manager for the Chancellor's Associate Scholars Program. So I work very closely to Belinda, and I will also be helping with the Q&A section. Buenas tardes a todos. Bienvenidos. Yo voy a estar ayudando con las preguntas que entren al chat. Muchas gracias por acompañarnos esta noche en este evento.
Good evening. My name is Rachel. I work for a program called the Student Success Coaching Program, and I support a cohort of first generation students at one of the colleges at UCSD. I'm part of Lindsay's team, and I'll be answering questions in English on the chat tonight.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Tori Bassinio. My pronouns are she and they. I also work with Rachel for the Student Success Coaching Program. I am a success coach for students in Muir College, and I'll be helping out with the Q&A tonight in English. Nice to have you.
Great, thank you so much to our question and answers team. I'm so elated to be able to introduce to everyone our wonderful parent and family panelists that are joining us from various parts of California and also from Colombia. So we're gonna ask them to introduce themselves. So Norma, if you could get us started, tell us your name, where are you from, what do you do? And please use one word to describe your UC San Diego student.
Hi, everyone. My name is Norma Cervantes. I was born in Guadalajara, Mexico, but I came to the United States when I was 5. I'm a commercial insurance broker for Alliant Insurance Services here out of San Diego. And a word to describe my son would be bright.
Great, thank you so much. Andres, would you like to go next?
Sure. Hello, good afternoon. My name is Andres Charria. Actually, I'm in Bogota, Colombia, South America. I work as project manager. And one word to describe my daughter, Laura, would be inspiring. Good night.
Thank you so much. And Leticia?
Yes, hi, my name is Leticia Sawyer. I'm from Imperial, California. I'm a public safety dispatcher. And the one word that describes my daughter is bright as well.
Great, and Mary, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Nguyen. I was born in Vietnam and I came to the US when I was 10. Currently, I'm living in Fresno, California. And one word, I'm currently doing in-home supportive service, taking care of patients in my own house. And one word to describe my sister would be high achieving.
Great, awesome. Thank you so much to our parent and family panelists. We're gonna go ahead and stop sharing the screen so then that way we can all see each other. And we will go ahead and get started with our dialogue with just a couple of questions for our family panelists. So one of the questions that we're focusing on is really thinking about opportunities specifically at UC San Diego. So I'd like Norma to get us started. Norma, why did you and your student choose UC San Diego? And what is it that Jesus, your student, is involved in or has done on campus so far?
Okay, well, Jesus is the one that made the decision to go to UCSD. I just pretty much took him to all the campuses that he was accepted, and he made the decision to stay here locally. So Jesus chose UCSD because of the Scripps Institution of Oceanography. He's a marine biology major. He also saw a lot of opportunity for growth here at UCSD. Jesus is very determined and is always trying to get his foot in the door anywhere he can. So this was a perfect fit for him. Jesus was a Muir College council member his first year. He volunteered in a research lab at Scripps. He was also a peer coach for this program and currently does cognitive research with dolphins.
Great, thank you so much, Norma. Leticia, would you like to answer the same question? Why is it that your student decided to choose UC San Diego? And what are some of the things that your student has gotten involved in so far?
She, when she was in high school, we sent her to a few of the colleges to look around and make sure what she wanted. And she went to UC San Diego, liked the way she saw students happy and everything. And she looked into the great academic ranking and potentials you guys have for UCSD. She's in ACS SA for chemistry, because that's her major. She's in pep band and also did the summer bridge while she was in summer at home.
Andres, would you like to give us the reason why your student chose UC San Diego?
Sure. One of the main reasons that Laura chose UCSD is the ranking. It's around, it's like number 20 in the world. So it's the university number 20 in the whole world. So that was incredible. Also, she wanted to study cognitive science. She was thinking about psychology, but she didn't like psychology, especially the clinical part. But she really loved the cognitive science, and actually, UC San Diego are the creators of this program. So she got in love with that program. Also, another reason, because I don't live in California, is that California is like the 5th economy in the world. So the ecosystem that you have there, the possibilities that I see that she can have studying in California, especially in San Diego, was something that we really considered when she took the decisions. And finally, we lived many years in Puerto Rico, and she wanted a nice weather also, so she didn't want to go. I mean, we went to Boston during the winter, and wow, it was really cold. So I know the weather in San Diego is very good. So those were like the main reasons she chose San Diego.
Thank you so much, Andres. And then Mary, you have the unique perspective of being the big sister. So as a big sister, why did your sister choose UC San Diego, and what are some of the opportunities that she's been able to get involved in so far?
Well, one reason was that she wants to get away from Fresno. Since we live in the valley, it either gets really hot or really cold. And it's like kind of, whenever there's like a fire, it's like the air is polluted here. So it's nice for like, the weather in San Diego is really nice. So that's one of the reasons. And she really likes science. She wants to study science and be in labs because it's fun. And so she chose molecular and cell biology for her major. And apparently UCSD is really good at that. And it's her first year, and she haven't gotten involved in anything except for badminton. And that's it.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks so much for your answers on how, what attracted your student to UC San Diego and how they're being involved on campus. So in the spirit that we're doing this session, really around a common denominator, which is first generation and being the first to go to college, and particularly to families of first year students, because the experience is so new and so fresh and recent for you. When you think about your student being the first to go to college, can you tell us about what you told your student about pursuing a higher education, or why pursuing a higher education? What's the importance behind that when you think about higher education, pursuing it, and then your student being the first in their family to pursue a college education? Norma, do you want to start?
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. Yes. Well, I just wanted Jesus to be successful and enjoy what he does. I always tell all my kids, school comes first. He got a lot of drive. Well, Jesus has a lot of drive, and I just wanted him to be set up for success, later on. So that's why we needed the higher education.
Leticia, do you want to follow?
Sure. She was really self-motivated. She looked into everything and brought herself up to where she is now. However, we supported this because having a degree opens up additional doors for employment and promotional purposes. So we back her up 100%.
Andres, what do you think?
Okay, yeah. Like right now, actually, it is an option not to go to college, and you really think about going to college and take all the loans that you have to take sometimes, and maybe take your time. I mean, you have the option maybe to study by your own, take courses on the internet, and really don't have a degree. But in life, you always have the risk. I always tell her that there is the risk that she doesn't develop her full potential. So if she, what I always tell Laura is, okay, if she wants to develop her potential, one warranty, I mean, if she gets a degree in a good university like UCSD, it doesn't guarantee that she will succeed, but it has some weight in her life, something that will support her to achieve her dream. So that's why we always push Laura and her daughter and her sister also to think about college.
My dad was the same way. He told me, you got to go to college. That's it. Conversation. Mary, tell us about why it's so important for your sister to pursue higher education as a first-generation college student.
Well, for my parents, they think that education is very important. And we want Linda to be successful, but she gets to choose what she wants for her future. And she does want to college. She wants to rise in the ladder of economic status. And she wants to be financially stable. And she said that since our parents have gotten her so far, she just want to strive for it. Yeah.
Awesome. So we've learned a little bit about you at the beginning and where you're coming from, where what your student is studying, where you currently live. From your perspective as parents or family member of a UC San Diego first generation student, how to support your student? What are some strategies you use to support your students' education at UC San Diego? I will go with Leticia.
So I was trying to unmute to start because I figured you were going to say something. We speak daily to her and do our best to provide her with everything necessary to be a successful student, and technology, moral support. Her grandparents visit her every weekend just to show her that we're there, care for her, love her, and we didn't just abandon her in college.
Andres, what do you think? You're in Bogota, Colombia. How do you support your daughter's education?
Yeah, I think the strongest support is financially. I mean, for us, it's more difficult because when you do the exchange rate, it's very high, and sometimes we have some economic factors that affect the exchange rate. So, and especially we don't live in California, we have to pay extra for not being a resident. So that's one of the most important support that we give Laura. And also being there always. I mean, whatever she needs, she knows that we're around, and she knows that she can come with us.
Absolutely. So for families of international students, first generation students, the tuition is different between domestic to California and international students. So we invite you to visit the Financial Aid and Scholarships Office, among many others, to just learn more information on how to financially support your students' education. And that is F as in Frank, AS as in Sam, .ucsd.edu. So just thought I would plug that in. Let's see, Norma, have we gotten to you about how you support your students' education?
Well, Jesus loves to share. So he loves to talk to me about his day or what he's learning. So in all honesty, most of the time, I don't know what he's talking about, but I listen. I listen and I nod my head or I smile. And he knows that I'm paying attention, but just being there, and he lives here at home with me, so it's easy for me to talk to him right now. And when we're not together, when he's living on his own, we definitely talk every day. So just being there for him.
You bring up a good point. Have you, I believe Jesus is a junior this year, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a senior.
Senior. Sorry about that. But for the rest of our families, your families and parents of first-year students, how was the transition of communication? Like the frequency of staying in touch and the method by which you stayed in touch, whether it's text or phone call, maybe Zoom now. What was that transition like between you and your student? And Andres, I saw you undoing your mic, so I think you've got something to say.
Yeah, well, in my case it's different because of COVID. Laura is still at home, so she hasn't, she's still living with us. So she hasn't been in the campus yet.
Now, what about in terms of what she's going through and what she's learning from a remote setting? What's the communication like, even though she's at home with you? How does she communicate her experience with the remote learning?
Wow, now she's very excited all the time. And yeah, now at family dinner, we share a lot of the knowledge that she's getting. So it's very interesting also when we get a family, when some of the family, I mean, the grandparents or the aunts came here. So we discuss, a lot of what she's learning. And of course, it's to discuss about cognitive science. It's fun it's always about the brain, you are and conscious. So that's something that helps also to communicate better. And she's always telling us, okay, this is what I learned, so this is what you should do better. That's nice.
That's great.
It's
I
nice
mean, you're right there in the moment.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm here in the moment. I'm enjoying it.
Leticia,
I will really miss her when she goes to. We will have to have a really frequent calls when she's out there
Absolutely.
alone.
Yeah, there'll be a transition for sure. And if you need help, you can always call Lindsay or I. We're there to support you.
Yeah. Okay.
Leticia, how about you? How's the community? What was the the transition in communication? How do you stay in touch? How often do you stay in touch? Can you tell us about your experience?
Well, first it was a lot of phone calls. We were on the phone maybe every 2 hours talking to each other because we are very close to each other. But now that she's got school started and she's got classes and friends and mom's not so special anymore, she calls me twice a day now for like 10-15 minutes and now says, I gotta go, Mom, I got things to do. So I'm excited for her. She found friends and they're very supportive. And we communicate on the phone, and now it's every 2 weeks we drive up there and see her for maybe 2 hours. And so, yeah.
Awesome. So your student is on campus, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she's at Rebel.
Awesome. And Mom will never be forgotten, I assure you.
Thank you.
Yes. Lindsay, I'm going to pass it on to you. What other questions do you have for our panel?
For sure. So one thing that we find particularly interesting for first generation college students is that their family members often provide for them, just really solid life lessons. So we always talk about how first generation college students are trailblazers, they're brave, they continuously sort of set the bar in a lot of different ways. So we know that a lot of that comes from you all as family members. So we're just curious, if you were to think about what are some of the life lessons that you feel like you've shared with your students that have helped them get to a top world ranked institution, as you all talked about, as one of the reasons, right? That they chose UCSD because of the opportunity. So I'm just curious, what do you think are some of the life lessons that they listened to you and have helped them to be successful in where they're at today? Norma, would you like to start?
Sure. I want to say I've instilled in all my kids that if you work hard, you can play harder. Just to keep motivated and to always finish what you start. You know, don't give up. No matter how hard it is, it'll get easier, but just don't give up.
Leticia, Andres, and Mary?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I always tell Laura, yeah, to work hard. And actually, she does. She works really hard, and also take advantage of the opportunities. We found out that UCSD has a lot of opportunities. They have actually UCSD has everything you can dream of, but you have to look for those opportunities. I mean, what we found out is that UCSD is so big that it's difficult that if you want something, you have to go and look for it. For example, she just started right now, and she was able to get some interviews, and finally she got a job. I mean, a temporary job with Qualcomm, and I said, "Wow, how did you do it so fast?" But everything was because of the networking and connecting with the people, with the right people at the university. She also had another opportunity to work with. I mean, there is one teacher, one professor that she respects very much. Actually, she knew her from TED Talks, and she wanted to meet her. And now, somehow, she got the opportunity to be her assistant. So now she's doing that also. She said, no, I just want to be her assistant. I don't mind if I don't get paid, but I want to work with her and to learn more from her. So everything that she's been thinking about, she got it. So those are the opportunities that she has to look for. I mean, she's. I mean, we are living in a time like COVID time, and it will pass. But maybe there are more opportunities there to meet more people. And people are more relaxed, seeing things, seeing the world different. So take advantage of that. So work hard, but also focus and look for the opportunities. And UCSD has all the opportunities. California has all the opportunities you can dream of. So that's something that we talk all the time.
Leticia, what about you? What are some life lessons that you think Bethany has imparted from you?
We've always taught her to respect and to listen to everyone. And also, even if she disagrees, which she does disagree a lot, there's always something to be learned, even if she disagrees with what some person has or some kind of lab work or to always listen and respect their thoughts.
So much. Mary, what about you? Any perspectives you'd like to share?
Sorry, I got disconnected earlier. I was trying to get back in. But yeah, I would say set yourself up for success, but don't expand yourself, and be goal motivated. Have like a goal, big or small. Once you have a goal, you'll be able to like try for something, or like try hard, strive for something. And I told her about time management. don't like overwhelm herself with all the courses, like take everything slowly. That way like she doesn't fail as much. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think one of the biggest lessons that first-gen students take is like really learning to pace themselves. And it's important to be ambitious, but also have opportunity for reprieve and rest. So thank you for that reminder, Mary. Karina, go ahead.
Well, so I was going to bounce off of what everyone has shared so far about their student, and I want to kind of switch gears just a little bit. Can you think of a time when your student came to you and had an obstacle of some sort, and you came together, you talked about it. Can you talk about how you've discuss the obstacle that your student is going through related to school, related to their experience at UC San Diego? So talk to us about what that obstacle was, how they came to you to talk through that obstacle, and the solutions you came up together to overcome the obstacle. I won't call out anyone's name. Whoever is ready to share, you can share. But again, talk about an obstacle that your student came to you with, you worked together, you came up with a solution to overcome that obstacle.
For me, that hasn't happened yet, so I have nothing to share.
Jesus.
Well, go ahead.
I'm so sorry, Andres. For a little bit, Jesus was having problems getting from one side of the campus to the other. Just time management was hard between classes and work and just rushing to and from, since he doesn't live on campus, just trying to get there on time and taking the bus and the shuttles and all that. So he got himself involved in some type of program that talks about commute for students and helping students understand how to navigate that. So once he became involved in that, he was able to help others understand how, where to park, where not to park, how to get to one side quicker than the other. But we came together and we talked about it, and he was very overwhelmed at minutes, for a couple of minutes. And then just once he heard himself talk, and, I gave him some ideas and just let him express his frustration, he was able to overcome that obstacle and help others who were just as frustrated with the same issue.
Yeah, parking on campus is a real experience. It's a very large campus. It seems like there's many choices, but you need a strategy. Absolutely. Andres, how about you?
Yeah, that would be a challenge for Laura to go to campus. I know it's huge. One obstacles with Laura was she had one subject that she was very excited, and then when she started, she didn't like it much, and she had many credits on her first semester, so she started thinking about dropping out that subject, and so I had to listen to her. So we saw which option she had, and what was the consequence of dropping that subject. And of course, I let her take the decision as what she wanted. I mean, I didn't take the decision. We talked together. We saw which option she had, and finally she decided to drop it. I mean, it was only one credit, I think, but it was nice. I mean, it was something that came, and yeah, and that's the idea, that any obstacles she can talk to me, and we can solve it, and I will let her go. I mean, take her way. It's her life.
Awesome. Leticia, did we get to you? Oh, your mic is off. Leticia, can you unmute yourself?
Sorry.
No worries.
Good thing I didn't say much. One obstacle that she's been struggling with is math. So she reached out to her teacher aide, and I don't know if it's a he or a she, but I know she's been getting help, and she's a little bit more eased now that she's getting help, and that has helped her a lot. So she reached out to somebody to help her with that obstacle that she was having issues with.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. And you know, the summary, what I've picked up from everyone's answers is that there's going to be obstacles. It could be from how to find parking on campus to figuring out whether or not to keep a class. I also heard weighing out your options. Oh, it's just one credit. Maybe it's easily made up later on in their academic year, or having difficulty with a class and reaching out. I think that's the important part, is that reaching out to someone or a resource that can solve the challenge that your student is going through. And equally important is that they're talking to you about it. And that's really important as well, that they're cluing you in as to what's going on, and you're coming together to solve what the issue might be, and figuring out which resources would help the student overcome that. So those are the takeaways I wanna mention out of your answers. Lindsay, do you have a question for our panel?
Yeah, so one of the questions that we're really curious about, and it's really related to this concept of, you know, aspirations. So going into this idea of trying to understand like our biggest hope for our students, I'm just curious for the family members that are panelists, what is your biggest dream for your student? Besides this UC San Diego degree, what is your biggest dream for them? Norma, would you like to get us started?
My biggest dream for Jesus is that he's happy, that he does something that he loves, and that he understands that all his hard work, all those hours of studying paid off, you know, and just to see him embrace his hard work, that would make me very happy.
Andres, what is your biggest dream for your student?
Yeah, for Laura, my biggest dream is, yeah, same as Norma, to see, I mean, for Laura to be happy. Actually, yeah, to live and understand what is important in life. Okay, so she can live and she can decide what to do, and see really what's important. I mean, not just the money. I mean, no, or what love important, the community service is important, but she has to live to really understand that. So that's what she's been doing, and so at the end, yeah, like Norma said, is what we want is Laura to be happy.
Mary, what is your biggest dream for your sister?
I would say that for Linda to be successful in whatever she chooses to do, and to be happy with anything that she ends up with. Yeah, mostly just to be happy like everyone else.
And then to close this out, Leticia, what would you love for Bethany? What is your biggest dream for her?
For Bethany, to be successful in life, to be equipped to find a career that provides for her and allows her to experience different opportunities.
So the next thing is, we wanted to sort of ask, what advice would you give to students? So what are some advice that you would give to fellow first generation college students on how can they keep family members involved in their college process? So what advice would you give to other first generation college students that are at UC San Diego? And we have over 11,000 first generation college students at UC San Diego. So there's a lot of them. So I would just be curious, Leticia, since you're still unmiked, what's advice that you have for first-gen students on how they can keep their family members involved in their college journey?
Well, to be engaged and challenged, to live outside of their comfort zone, proactively seek opportunities to try to learn, experience something new and positive.
Thank you. Andres, would you like to go next? What is your advice for other first-gen college students to keep their family members involved?
Yeah. Well, first generation, they go out and they go out of the house and go to go to college. But it's important, I mean, for them to know that, I'm sure that, to know that their parents love them. So it doesn't matter what you do, and their opinion may change or they can have their own opinions, but it doesn't matter what happens. We always love you. We will support you. So we are here, and if something happened, come and talk to us. That would be like, I think it's general. I mean, we love our kids, and we just want to support them all the time.
I feel the love from Bogota, Colombia, I just want to say.
Thank you.
Norma, what about you? What is your advice for other first-gen college students to keep their family members involved?
My advice would be that as a parent or a family member, we are just as scared as you are, but we want to have the opportunity to be there with you. So no question is, I mean, there's no dumb question. So let us take that journey with you. You know, let us experience it. We want to be able to share the end goal, you know, and if we can't come up with a solution to something, I'm sure that we'll find it, you know, and don't be afraid to ask. We can do it together, but just let us be part of that journey.
Thank you, Norma. And then Mary, what about you?
I would say to do everything in moderation. They don't have to tell us every little thing if they don't want to, but we're always there to listen. But it would be better if they tell us the important things so we can be involved.
Yeah, for sure. And Mary, I just give you so much props. My oldest sister, her name is Siobhan, and she is like my best friend in the whole world. And she was really pivotal in my own college journey. So, so much props to the siblings, and especially the oldest sisters. They always have a lot of responsibility.
Yes, we do.
But sometimes they don't go to us. They usually go to their friends for advice.
Yeah, that's true. Great. So we do have some family members in the call. So now is sort of our time to answer any questions. So we'd love if you are listening, if you have a question for our panelists, please go ahead and enter that in the Q&A so we could spend some time doing that. And then while we're waiting for the questions to come in, Andres, Norma, Mary, and Leticia, I'd love for you to just think about one lasting piece of advice for family members that are tuned in. Some of them have current students that are at UC San Diego. Some of them are about to be or considering coming to UC San Diego. So I'd love for you to think about one piece of advice for the fellow family members that are on the call. And for those that are attending, please feel free to type in your questions, and we'd love for the panelists to be able to answer those for you. Right. So who is ready to give their one piece of lasting advice? Go ahead, Norma.
I am. Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
Leticia, if you want to, you can do it, Leticia. Would you like to go first?
Sure.
Go ahead.
All right. I just think that parents should just continue to stay engaged and be supportive of their kids and continue on. Go ahead.
My advice would be, don't dismiss any feelings. Whether it's frustration, sadness, depression, happiness, confusion, listen at all times, and be there as much as you can.
Mine would be, I lost my words. Maybe just to listen to them, and yeah, don't dismiss anything that they say. Don't force them to do anything that they don't want to, and just support them along the way.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very similar to your answers. For me, will be like a parent, be there to listen. I know that being a father and a mother is very challenging, so be there for them. Okay.
Great, thank you so much to our panelists. While we're waiting for folks to type in any questions, Karina and I just wanted to spend some time talking about the ways in which our unit support all of you. So I'm just going to pull up my screen so that you all can see a little bit about our different units.
All right, that's my cue. So the Office of Parent and Family Programs at UC San Diego is committed to parents and family members of the UC San Diego student, because we really do understand, and just like many of our partners, including those who are on this call right now, really understand the important role that parents and family members play in a student's education journey. And we've heard it in a lot of different ways tonight, in how our parents have supported or are supporting their student, what they aspire for them in the future, now and in the future, and how they've been a part of making the decision to attend UC San Diego. Our office, in collaboration with many campus partners like Student Retention Success, CASP, Chancellor's Associates Scholarship Programs, Student Health Services, the colleges, there are many more partners that we have on campus. We provide resources, program services centered on the outlook of the academic year. So we want to inform you about all of these resources and services from the time school starts up until summer really ends. So it's really almost 365 days out of the year, so that you know what's happening and how you can continue to support your student. Again, holistic, collaborative. We work with many on campus so that we can give you not just a parent and family programs perspective, but a campus-wide perspective to whatever questions you might have about your student's journey or UC San Diego. Our information are at the bottom. You can follow us in a lot of different social media platforms. I encourage you to be involved as a parent ambassador. And what that means is that you sign up to be an ambassador. And when we have webinars like this and we need folks to sit on a panel, or if and when we ever get back on campus and we do programs on campus, we've had parents help with check-in, many of our parents and family members for programs, and a number of different roles as well. We've launched the First Generation Child and Family Connection e-newsletter as well in November, and we continue to do that throughout the academic year. We'll send 4 throughout the academic year. And what that means is that we want this newsletter to come from your voices. So we encourage you to submit answers to a few questions. We use that to create the newsletter, and it becomes a community approach based sort of newsletter that any of our families who are supporting their first generation student at UC San Diego can read, learn from, relate to, and whatever they might gain from just that. So that's our office, and we invite you to visit our website at parents.ucsd.edu.
Thank you so much, Karina. So Belinda, Tori, Rachel, Kimberly, and myself are very proud to work for Student Retention and Success, which is a unit on campus with a variety of different programs and services that do a lot of different high impact practices, unique ways to make sure that all types of diverse college students at UC San Diego have a sense of belonging and get connected to wonderful, meaningful adults and peers that help with their overall journey. So this includes units such as the academic enrichment programs. So for students that are very interested in things like undergraduate research, that is an area within our division and our unit that we really want first generation college students in particular to get connected to. They have opportunities such as faculty mentoring, scholarships that are directly related to undergraduate research opportunities, and lots of different ways that students can find even their path beyond undergraduate degree through like the McNair program, which is a path to the doctorate. We also have OASIS, which is the Office of Academic Support and Instructional Services. It's a unit on campus that has been around for over 40 years and is home to the Summer Bridge program, which Andres and Leticia and Mary students participated in just this past summer. We also have the Wonder Chancellor's Associate Scholars Program. And since Belinda's on the call and Belinda's a director, Belinda, would you like to describe, sorry to put you on the spot, but would you like to describe what the Chancellor's Associate Scholars Program does?
It's okay, yeah, no problem. So the Chancellor's Associate Scholars Program serves regional high academic achieving students in two ways: by providing a $10,000 scholarship to provide access for students who want to come to UCSD and are high academic achievers to have the financial means to attend UCSD, and also the support by having this whole community of support with their peers and with others. There is no application process, so students are selected from some partnership high schools and partnership community colleges. But as Lindsay mentioned, there are other opportunities because we connect students to connect to the broader UCSD community. We have student staff opportunities. So if your student is not selected for CASP, there are other ways for be involved. There are other ways to be involved, and we welcome anyone, because the more the merrier.
Great, thank you so much, Belinda. And then I am proud to serve as director of the First Gen Student Success Coaching Program, which provides support to many first generation college students through coaching. So Tori and Rachel are 2 out of our 6 success coaches, and they provide individualized goal setting, success planning for over almost 2,000 first generation college students. We also have a unit called Undocumented Student Services that provides intentional and holistic support for our students who are undocumented or documented. We also are home to the Student Veterans Resource Center. Tomorrow is National Veterans Day, so we're very, committed to making sure that our military connected community are also getting support to achieve their professional and personal goals. And then new to our unit is the Triton Transfer Hub, which is facilitated by a department called Transfer Student Success. And they also provide peer coaching and transfer specific workshop for our transfer students, in which a third of UC San Diego's population identifies as transfer. So we are one beautiful family, really dedicated to making sure that students, not just first generation college students, but all students have an opportunity to make connections and get that support. So please visit our website at srs.ucsd.edu. And you're welcome to email us at firstgentritons@ucsd.edu for any questions. So like I said, thank you for joining us for this first inaugural event. We do ask you to save the date. Our next event will be February 4th, 2021. So we hope that you'll be able to join us and hear from more family members and what their sage wisdom and advice is related to supporting their students. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share just to see if we have any questions in the chat.
I did see, so I took Spanish when I was in high school, and the language is quite similar to French. French is my first language, but I see that there's a question in the chat that is asking for a phone number to ask questions. And so for the Office of Parent and Family Programs, the phone number is 534-7273. And Lindsay, is there a phone number you can share? Maybe an email?
An email would be great.
Okay.
So you could send us an email at firstgentritons@ucsd.edu. Thank you so much, Belinda, for typing this in the chat. Yes. Do we have any questions for our attendees or our panelists? Oh, and also abcsrs@ucsd.edu is also an email address that you can send inquiries to about student retention and success.
You know, in the meantime, if you don't mind, there were some advanced questions that were sent to us. So let me highlight just a couple that haven't been touched upon from our parents and family members. One of them is, you know, my daughter's a biochemistry major. What resources are available to connect with a mentor to intern? I would say that your daughter could reach out to a biochemistry advisor, maybe their own advisor, and ask them for opportunities to intern with a faculty member or find lab research opportunities, which Andres talked about earlier with the opportunity that his daughter has been able to take advantage of. Another question is how to balance academics and physical activity, which I think is a very important topic right now, to find a way to balance both. One suggestion is for your student to make an intentional plan to move away from their laptop and take a walk, play basketball, do something that's active. Stretch is another way to remain active. We also have what is called the playground at UC San Diego, and they have a host of different activities that your student can engage with as well. It's called the playground. In that same breath, other ways to get connected with UC San Diego is with the Center for Student Involvement, csi.ucsd.edu, I believe is the URL. And there are many organizations your student can choose from to connect or reconnect with UC San Diego. As well, we have different community centers at UC San Diego, the Black Resource Center, Raza Centro, LGBTQ, the Cross-Cultural Center. I'm forgetting some other ones, but there's about 6 community centers that are involved, that are available at UC San Diego. So I just wanted to address some of the questions we got in advance.
Thank you. And Karina, Kimberly, and Belinda would like to answer some of the questions that were submitted in Spanish. Go ahead. I think you're muted, Belinda.
Kimberly, did you you have one?
Yes, because for some reason I can't open up the chat to see the questions.
No worries.
That's okay.
So one of the questions says, me gusta información de la escuela donde está mi hija. That was one of them that you helped translate for us earlier. And then the other one was, fue un poco difícil para nosotros saber que se tenía que ir con tanta restricción por la pandemia.
Ok. Entonces las dos preguntas, una pregunta es del sistema de colegios que tenemos en UCSD. Entonces tenemos 7 diferentes colegios con 2 enfoques. Uno que es el área de residencia o la comunidad que el estudiante va a hacer si es que vive en la universidad. Entonces esa es una de las metas de tener el sistema de colegios y tenemos 7. El segundo es la serie de clases que toman los estudiantes para tener, para adquirir los requisitos mínimos para obtener su diploma. Entonces, sí son 7 diferentes enfoques de cada colegio. Entonces, a veces cuando los estudiantes o los padres de familia preguntan en qué colegio va, dicen UCSD, pero dentro de UCSD tenemos ese sistema de colegios y son 7 diferentes. Entonces, puede empezar por preguntarle a su estudiante a qué colegio pertenece y ya que sepa en cuál colegio pertenece, si hay diferente personal en todas las oficinas de los colegios que le puede explicar su enfoque, o también puede contactarnos a nosotros, a la información que dimos, el número de teléfono y el sitio de web de la Oficina de Padres y Familias para platicarles más sobre el enfoque del colegio. La segunda pregunta era sobre los estudiantes que están viviendo en la universidad con las restricciones ahorita por el COVID. Y sí, y como el condado de San Diego también tiene diferentes restricciones y cambian dependiendo en los casos que hay y los diferentes niveles en los que estamos, pues también impactan a la universidad y cómo viven los estudiantes. Entonces, lo que le podemos recomendar para estar al tanto, hay un sitio de web que se llama Return to Learn, que lo voy a poner en el chat, que tiene las diferentes restricciones, pero también información que va cambiando a veces de día a día. Entonces, para estar al tanto, lo mejor sería revisar ese sitio de web y también platicar con su estudiante, porque a veces ellos son los que se tienen los informes más al tanto, porque ellos son los que están viviendo en la universidad. No sé si quieras agregar algo, Kimberly.
No, nada más decirles gracias por adelantado por tener tanta flexibilidad con nosotros, al igual que ustedes, dado todos los cambios que están experimentando muchos los estudiantes, ya con aprendizaje por internet y tener que estar aprendiendo tal vez no en el campus o estar dentro de casa y estar en esa transición. Les agradecemos mucho poder trabajar con sus estudiantes y ayudarlos a navegar esto, al igual que la universidad. Estamos intentando asegurarnos de que todos sus estudiantes tengan los recursos que ocupan para poder tener el mejor año que puedan con UC San Diego, pero sabemos que con tantos cambios que están pasando, no tenemos todas las respuestas ahorita, pero vamos a hacer lo más posible para asegurarnos de que tengan todos los recursos para que sus estudiantes puedan tener un buen año aquí en UC San Diego o en casa.
Great. Thank you so much, Belinda and Kimberly, for answering those questions for us and providing just beautiful Spanish translation. Super appreciate you all so much. And we are at time. We'd love for you all to save the date, February 4, 2021. We also do have a family and parent town hall that will be taking place next week. So please check return-to-learn.ucsc.edu to participate and learn more about how UC San Diego continues to use data-driven decisions to support our students during this challenging time. We're so grateful for all of our panelists. So a round of applause to Andres, Mary, Norma, and Leticia. Thank you so much for sharing your advice, being the first to go. And most importantly, thank you so much for supporting your students to achieve their dreams, because they really make such a huge difference on our campus. I'd also like to thank our supporters in the Q&A, Belinda and Kimberly, thank you so much, and Rachel and Tori, and Karina, thank you so much for this partnership. We all will see you hopefully February 4th, 2021, and we heard your feedback. We will do our best to do a Spanish only one next time. So thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening, and please take good care of yourselves.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.